Well, hello, friends. Welcome back to another episode of Carter and Kat's Weather Chat.
I'm Carter.
And I'm Kat. And
this is our Weather Chat.
This is the podcast where we talk about all of the whys and all things weather. And this week, we're going to be talking about weather myths and facts, and if they're myths and facts. So we're going to get into that and talk about the science behind it. And Carter and I are going to play a little bit of a game and then talk about one cool myth or fact at the end and go into all of the details. But first, I think we should talk about the elephant in the room. So this weekend, it was supposed to be a pretty significant weekend in terms of having rain in the forecast and significant amounts of rain. And that didn't happen. And, from my perspective as a meteorologist, we always want some weather to come in. We never want anything catastrophic, but sometimes we like to see the rain and we like to, have our forecasts verified. So it's pretty disappointing when we don't see rain ourselves and when our forecasts essentially bust. So it was pretty disappointing this weekend. I want to get your perspective on it, especially since you just jumped into a new role. You're forecasting every day. So you see how the forecast changes, like literally from day in and day out. So give me your perspective.
Yeah, Kat, I got to tell you, first and foremost, you're right. The forecast did bust. It busted for many, many different folks across Texas, meteorologists across Texas. We were all forecasting this event. We all saw rainfall. It didn't happen. And, it hurts. It hurts. It's not an easy thing to admit when you're wrong. I know me personally, I went on air literally the next morning and was like, hey, I apologize. This happened like this. I'm sorry it happened like this. Susie, I'm gonna call one of our meteorologists, Susanna. I'm gonna call her out real fast because she apologized on social media, and that's amazing. It's so hard to be able to do something like that, and just seeing that. What should have happened is we should have seen a front come through, a boundary come through, with the moisture and everything else. In fact, right now, looking at it and looking back at last weekend, models were predicting us to see nearly over an inch for the entire weekend in some areas like Abilene or some of our surrounding cities. And I'm going to give you some numbers, okay?
Okay.
I'm just going to prove how wrong I was. So, this is according to the West Texas Mesonet. For those who don't know, West Texas Mesonet, you got some history on that?
Yeah, actually, they have a lot of sites actually across West Texas. It's a big site that it records temperature, wind, rain, all kinds of things. They have one at ACU. They also have one, I believe, near the airport. If I'm not wrong. So they're little tools that we use to help us measure what actually happens.
For sure, and they're hosted from Texas Tech, right?
Yes,
that's
Texas Tech Wind
sponsors.
Institute, and they're doing lots of research out there.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to pull some data from them, okay? Because they have a wider range of places. Northeastern Abilene, we thought it'd see over an inch of rainfall. 1/100th of an inch, 0.01. Clyde, 0.54, so just over half an inch. Haskell, 0.67. Snyder, 0.7. You get the idea. And then on top of that, I did another justice, okay? We have what we call an ASOS. And you know what that is. Yes. For our viewers who don't know, it's kind of like a Mesonet. It's the same type of station that has the same tools and research. This one is just funded through the Weather Service. And our ASOS is actually located at Abilene Regional. And so if our Mesonet's located in northeastern Abilene, our ASOS is located in southeastern Abilene, what do we have on the west side of Abilene besides reports? And reports you can't always fully trust, We don't really have anything there. And I can tell you right now that the ASOS at the airport had 200ths of an inch?
I believe
0.02?
so, yes.
Yeah.
200ths. Not a lot.
Wasn't there.
No, it
So what
was
happened?
not.
That's the question.
Yeah, I mean, from what I kind of picked up on is that front, it stalled out, but further south than what we were expecting. We were expecting it to stall out just around our area, maybe in the area, a little bit south of the big country, and it just took off and went down south near the coast and the hill country. So they got some flooding down there, and it left us with nothing. I mean, we did get some rain showers, on Sunday afternoon, and that was pretty exciting. But other than that, I feel like it was just overall a big bust. And I know a lot of people across the big country were disappointed. And, I was on my social media trying to keep up with whatever was coming through. And someone was like, well, you don't live here, so it's okay. Like, you don't know that we usually miss out on the rain a lot. So it happens.
It does. And, talking about it stalling, you're exactly correct. I didn't mention, some of our friends in our southeastern counties, like the Heartland, Brown County,
Yes.
Comanche, Coleman, they saw anywhere between 1 to 4 inches of rainfall.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It was a drastic difference, which, thankfully there wasn't any major flooding, anything that we saw here in the station. But I'm sorry. If you guys had any
Yes.
Labor Day plans, on behalf of Big Country Homepage, KTAB, KRBC, we're sorry.
Yeah,
This happens, and I'm sorry that your plans got messed up, and I hope that you still keep watching and supporting, and we'll just keep moving forward.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, we're doing our absolute best with what we have, and we're doing our best to keep the public safe. So whether or not it happens or not, we did our best to prepare them, and that's all we can do.
That's exactly correct.
So, all right, so it's game time. So
Okay.
here's what we're going to do. You gathered a couple of myths and facts, and I gathered a couple of myths and facts. We didn't tell each other what our myths and facts were. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back and forth, and you're going to tell me yours, and I'm going to guess if it's a myth or a fact, and then I'll go, and we'll go back and forth. So
Okay.
you start.
What if I don't want to start? Can we rock, paper, scissors?
We can, yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Ready?
Let's rock,
Okay,
paper,
on
scissors.
shoot.
All right.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay.
Scissors, scissors.
Rock, paper,
Paper,
scissors,
scissors,
shoot.
Okay.
So if I win, wait, what does that mean?
That means I get to choose.
Sure.
You go. I'll go first.
Okay.
Maybe I do want to go first. I just wanted to play rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Let's hit up with some weather myths and facts. Okay. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
So this one's gonna be a little easy. I feel like everyone knows this one, but it's one that is a common one. Lightning never strikes the same place twice.
I think that's a myth.
Do you want to say why, or do you want me to?
You say why.
What if it's not correct?
Go.
Okay, it is a myth. And this is why, okay? Lightning, it can strike the same place multiple times. It can strike, the top of the Empire State Building, the Batman Building in Nashville, all these different towers, tall figures, even trees. It can strike twice. That's just normal. It might not happen on the same storm.
Day or
same storm.
same
but
hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Easy one.
I have one similar to lightning.
Okay.
Okay. Metal attracts lightning.
That's just a fact, right?
It's a myth.
No, conduction.
Yes. No. Well, just because it's determined on the height and the exposure. Just because something's made of metal doesn't mean that the lightning's going to strike it. But metal is a good conductor, so when you hear thunder roar, you have to go indoors. And don't make sure you're not touching any types of metal, or don't go outside and hold on to the utility pole outside, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, it's a myth.
So let me ask you a question then.
Okay.
And I hope I'm getting the right person. Benjamin Franklin.
Well, because he went outside and he went and exposed himself to
With the key.
With the key.
Was that not a metal key?
But it was a metal key. But he went out and exposed himself to attract the lightning. Exposure.
Okay.
Order.
Well, hold on. Read it again. Now that
Okay.
I've heard.
It says metal attracts lightning.
Metal attracts lightning.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
All right.
it technically could be true,
No,
but it's so not broad, or so broad that
I'm listening. I hear you.
yeah, heightened exposure. matters
Sometimes
more
I
than the
learn something.
material.
All right. Okay. Let's try a different one.
Okay.
If you're driving during or in a tornado, you should hide under an overpass.
That is a myth.
You sure? Because in Twisters, they do it.
They did because that was the only thing that they had to do, because it was, for them, it was better than staying in the car. But don't do that.
Yeah. So
I think it's a myth.
it is a myth. And here's why, okay? This is a very dangerous thing. People often, driving, they see a storm and they're like, oh, no, I got to go hide under something. Because, if I hide under something, the thing above me will get taken away and I'll be just fine. Well, when you hide under an overpass, you're looking at stronger winds. It's also a major, major debris trap. So any debris in that storm that is rotating around, as it rotates and swings, it'll just get trapped. And sometimes it'll go under and it'll grab you with it and continue rotating.
Yes, and I feel like the Twisters movie was a good representation of that happening.
It
And
was,
it
yeah.
was that was a pretty sad moment. I can't lie, but they went under there because that was the only thing that they had. But notice that like the debris was just like whipping through there, and the winds were so powerful.
Yeah.
So it's not the best place to be.
It's definitely not. And, that we're speaking about this, I guess I should tell you what the best place is.
Yes.
In case it ever happens, you should definitely pull over, get out of your car. I know you're going to get wet. Your clothes are going to get wet and muddy. Lay in a ditch.
Mm-hmm.
Lay in a ditch somewhere that you can lay just in a little dip that'll help you out, flat to the ground.
Do you know why that's helpful?
Well, I know it has to do with wind friction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lots
And
of science.
Is there another way?
I mean, I know if you're in a house, you make sure you go into the most interior room with no windows.
Yeah.
Or into a basement.
Yeah.
So those are the best places to do. But obviously, if you're out on the road, it's hard to get away. So, okay,
right.
Ready for the next one?
Hit me with one.
Okay, this one is more science. It's not necessarily weather related, but hot water can sometimes freeze faster than cold water.
I guess I've never tried freezing hot water, but I'm going to say true. Fact.
You're right. It's correct.
It's very
But
specific.
it's under certain conditions, such as evaporation, conduction, the container shape. But hot water can freeze faster than cold water. So if you put hot water in an empty freezer versus cold water in a crowded freezer, that's all the difference. The hot water is going to freeze faster because all of that cool air is going directly to that one thing versus like a full freezer, it's going to all of these different things and it's fighting for,
Yeah, for
all
sure,
of the cooling effect. So it's pretty cool. There's a name for it. It's called the Mpemba effect, I believe.
Mpemba.
I've never heard of it, but I did not know that. And I was actually pretty shocked that
Okay.
that's a thing. I've never tried it, so maybe I should try it.
So next time I need some ice, like last minute,
You should empty out your entire
pull
freezer
everything out.
and put the hot water.
Put the hot water in it. Okay. That is noted.
Okay, next.
All right, that was a good one. Okay, this one's going to get you, okay? You ready? The eye of a hurricane is completely calm.
That's true
Why do you think it's true?
because I know my stuff.
It is true. You do know your stuff. It is, completely calm.
It is.
And it's pretty. Have you ever seen a video of like a hurricane?
Yes, the
hunter
hurricane
going through it?
hunters. That was actually
Yeah.
one of my dream jobs is to be a hurricane hunter.
Really? My best friend. One of his dream jobs.
Yeah, it's a pretty complex career to get into, and I don't know if that will be ever in my
Yeah.
But yeah, it actually is the calmest, and sometimes they have like a stadium effect, and it looks like a literal like stadium as it curves down. And yeah, if you guys have ever seen a video of the eye of the hurricane, if you haven't, you should definitely go look it up. There are videos of it because hurricane hunters go in there. They put out measuring devices to measure conditions and, kind of get a feel for what's going on. And it's pretty incredible. I did lots of research on
Yeah.
hurricanes in college, the eye wall replacement cycle and rapid intensification, all the things.
Carno.
So hurricanes are my favorite. I mean, they're not my favorite in terms of the catastrophic.
Yeah,
damage.
I know. What
But they're
you're saying.
very interesting
Yeah.
in terms of the science.
A lot of energy in a very slow-moving environment.
Yeah, but once you get outside that wall, the eye wall, it's crazy.
Gorgeous.
No, it's crazy.
What?
Like once
Oh,
you
you're
pass
talking
like the eye wall into
Oh,
the
I
store.
was talking about out of the Okay. No, okay.
Okay. Okay, next one is also not really weather related, but it's kind of like a little climate type of deal.
Okay.
Okay, bananas can influence the weather inside of a fruit bowl.
And we're talking like influences in like okay, let me ask you this. When you're talking a banana influencing the weather, is this the same as like, Punxsutawney Phil influencing the
No.
weather?
He doesn't influence the weather.
Why ain't he forecast it? Forecast.
No, it's a real I guess it's a fact. It's
Well-
real. Bananas
Explain.
Okay.
Because I've never thought of weather when I look at a banana.
So whenever you have like a bowl of
Okay.
fruit, it's essentially like its own little microclimate. And
Okay.
each fruit has its own different thing that it does. And so bananas, they naturally release a gas called ethylene, and other fruits around it are naturally putting out heat, if you didn't know that. So when it's enclosed, the heat essentially speeds up the gas production of the banana, and it allows humidity and the temperature to change, and that's how fruits rot. And so that's like the little mini microclimate. So they're all influencing each other to do different things.
Okay.
It's pretty interesting. I didn't,
Intrigued.
but it made me think about, when I have a fruit on my counter next to each other, or if I keep fruit in a bag
Yeah.
and I don't take it out for a couple days, and I realize it ripens up a little bit quicker than if I take the fruit out and let it just be by itself in the open. So not weather related, but its own little mini microclimate and weather deal. So
Yeah.
pretty cool, right?
It's pretty cool.
I didn't,
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't eat bananas a lot.
I mean, I don't either.
They bring in a lot of gnats.
Exactly.
I don't like that.
Because of their ripening process.
It's the gas that
Yeah,
brings
it's
in
the gas.
gnats.
I mean, that's like fruit in general, so. But
Yeah.
yeah, pretty interesting.
All right.
Okay,
Well, there you go. Okay, I got one more for you. Is that okay?
yeah.
All right. All right. Here's a pretty big one that I think a lot of people would think is a myth or would think is a fact. Opening windows during a tornado equalizes pressure and can save your house.
I think it's a myth.
What? You think it's a myth?
I saw this one, but I couldn't remember like what it said.
You actually think it's a myth?
Well, now I'm second guessing
Or do
myself.
you wanna change
but
your
I'm
answer?
gonna say it's a fact.
Do you want to say it's a fact?
No, I'm gonna say it's a myth.
Tell me why you think it's a myth. I got to hear your reasoning.
Well, I feel like no. I think it is a fact because if you do open, like it's like when you open windows in a car and you're driving down the highway, and if you only have one window open, you hear
Yeah.
like those pressure waves.
Mhm.
It's like bothering your ears. But then once you open up all of them, it's kind of like seamless, and it's not so. But I feel like
Okay.
there's no right. Like I don't think you should open your windows during a tornado.
It's a myth. And let me read the phrase, okay?
Please.
Opening windows during a tornado equalizes pressure and can save your house. Let's take out the pressure part real fast. Let's just take it out real fast. Opening windows during a tornado can save your house.
No, your
No.
house is not. It depends on. I mean, obviously, it depends on how catastrophic the tornado is.
Okay. So do you think if I put the pressure part back in, do you think the pressure would save your house? It's okay.
You made me second guess
I was
myself.
sneaky there. That's on me. That's on me.
I knew it was a myth,
You did.
and you got me.
It is a myth. Don't open your windows. Go shelter.
Yes. Okay, last one, and this one we're gonna talk about a little bit.
Okay.
The color of the sky either can predict storms or it can mean a lot of different things.
I'm just going to say true. I already know the answer. Is it true?
It is true,
Yeah.
but it does sound like a myth.
It does sound like a myth.
Yes, because there's different colors of the sky. Some people, Mariah Williams, I talked about her last week. She told me, she was like, but the sky is always blue. And I was like, no, it's not. The sky has different colors and it has different meanings behind it. Sometimes the sky is red. Sometimes it's orange or pink and there's reasons behind that. But also sometimes the sky can look green during a severe storm.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us why?
Yeah, I can tell you why, Okay, so when it comes to color changes in the sky, it all comes down to a term that us meteorologists use called scattering.
Mm-hmm.
And it's where we see, different molecules and different little parcels of air that are, these particles and parcels there. They're reflecting a certain amount of wavelength, a color, you could
Yeah.
say, on the spectrum there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all dependent on certain things. So during a storm, you're looking at more moisture, potentially hail in the storm. You're seeing all these other, thicker particles which is making it have a more green tint. Whereas during the day, you're looking at scattering and you're just seeing the most basic, easy one to the eye, blue.
The light blue, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, sunrises and sunsets.
Sunrise, sunset. We see that a lot in Texas. You want to explain why?
Yes, so specifically in West Texas, too, though. We have beautiful sunsets here.
Mm-hmm.
But there's actually meaning behind them. So I'm going to read this out loud. So, red skies at night, sailor's delight. And that usually means the next day we're going to have fair weather. But the reason behind the red sky is because the air is drier, I believe, and there's dust in the air, a lot of dust out here in West Texas, especially when we get those gusty winds. So during the spring, when we get those gustier seasons, definitely pay attention to the sky, specifically at night, because when the sunlight hits that dusk and it reflects off of it, it creates that red hue. And so there's a lack of moisture, so we're expecting a pretty calm day heading into the next day. And then I believe if you see a red sky in the morning, it's a sailor's warning, and that's because there's moisture present in the atmosphere, and obviously with daytime heating and the moisture and all of those conditions, that brings those thunderstorms that, especially if you're out in the ocean and you're trying to travel by boat and you get a thunderstorm, obviously you're going to be, that's their warning, so they have to take precautions. So red sky at night, sailor's delight. Red sky in the morning, sailor's warning. So that's what the meanings are behind them. Do you have any explanation too, or?
Well, I was gonna actually ask another myth or fact. Okay, you ready? This is impromptu.
Impromptu.
It's very fancy for me. Okay, I'm a science guy, not an English guy. Anyways, here's the deal. The color of the ocean mixed with the scattering also affects the blue sky.
I think that's true.
You think that's true?
I'm pretty sure that's true.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because our Earth is covered with like 70% water.
I'm actually going to tell you it's not true.
What?
I know. I thought the same thing. And I remember studying this back in school, but it's been a few years. Mm-hmm. It's actually the other way around. People think, oh, the ocean's blue. It's really not. If you're, let's be honest. How many of y'all have ever been to the beach? Unless you're in the Bahamas, it's not the cleanest water. It's green, brown when you're really close to it. It looks blue because of the scattering happening from the sky reflecting onto the water.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I feel like I knew that, but I don't know why I just assumed that the ocean is blue.
It's okay. It's like when you're at the beach, let's say you're at the beach, and you wake up and you're all excited. Yeah, I'm going to spend the day on the beach. I'm going to tan, do all this fun stuff. And then, boom, there's a double red flag. It's cloudy conditions outside. The water looks disgusting.
It looks green and gray and like.
Okay. But if it's sunny, it looks blue and pretty. So you're going to go out.
That makes sense. I should have known that.
Some fun facts for you. And well, you got anything you want to say?
No. You stumped me.
Okay. Well, let me kind of dive deep on that, okay? Actually, maybe I don't know how to dive deep on it. I think I already dived deep. That was my diving deep.
Yeah, we did it. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool how there's so many different myths and facts that people, they live their lives by, and it's a myth, or maybe it's true, it's a fact. And I think that's pretty cool that, we get to talk about them and go into the science of it all and just give our knowledge. And, that's why I think I love this podcast, because we're talking about things that, we didn't even know that were true.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't know that metal didn't actually attract lightning.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have my own opinions on that.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I'm going to do some research. You're probably right, but I'm not.
The internet is my friend, okay?
Yeah.
That one is, maybe I shouldn't believe everything on Google, but. All right, well.
Hey, well, I got to say, Kat, if you ever want to stump me on a myth or a fact, space weather.
Oh, yeah.
That's not my thing.
I should have known.
I don't care for space weather. Believe me. You remember the article that I wrote?
About the Northern Lights?
The Northern Lights and how you could see it on your phone.
But to be fair though, that's a completely different realm of weather. Like
It is.
it's technically, I mean, it is space weather, but it's way out of what we know about here on Earth. 'Cause
Yeah.
once you step out of the atmosphere and into space, that's just like a completely different realm, and that's a different degree as well, I believe, or partially, So, but yeah. So,
Yeah.
well, do you have anything else to say?
I just gotta say, myths and facts, they're a thing. And if you guys ever have any myths that you want to share, please, please, please reach out to us, me or Kat. We would love to kind of go over them, facts, whatever.
Yes.
Because this is your podcast. This isn't. I mean, we host it, but this isn't our podcast. This is for you all. So if you have anything.
Yes, and if you have any whys or whatever you want to know about the weather, you can reach out to Carter and I on our social medias. I'm meteorologist Catalina Bell on Facebook, and he's meteorologist Carter Vendrasic on Facebook. You can find our emails on bigcountryhomepage.com. But yeah, it's been fun. I'm glad that we got to debunk some myths and facts. But that does wrap up this week's of Carter and Kat's Weather Chat. If you guys have any ideas or want to know anything, please reach out to us. But until then, keep chasing the why.